can we use it to this one pen right here? Okay. Okay. So this is 9th ICSE. Which schools are there?
Sadhu
and 7th day. Sanpara. Nehru.
Sadhu.
1, 2 Sadhu Asam. You also. 7th day. Did your school start with your portions?
Yeah.
Portion start हुआ है. Which chapter?
The cell.
The cell.
We completed it. And from chemistry, we are like growing the language of chemistry.
Achha, when did your school start?
21st of March.
Oh, okay. More than right. And you all?
Exams.
अरे?
Annual exam.
कितना खराब. अच्छा, annual exam. अच्छा, नया सेशन शुरू होके एग्जाम भी होगा. So, now that means only for you all the portion has been started. You nothing. Today was the first day of school. Today was the first day of school. Okay. So the first thing is from my side, I welcome you all to our institution. I hope you all would enjoy the mode of study, the method of study with us. Okay. And as and when, yes, okay. As and when we started, huh?
Like a lecture study.
Start नहीं किया. Now, as I said, what I was saying is, as and when we start with our syllabus, today is the first day. Let's us feel very relaxed, not to take any pressure about the syllabus. खत्म करना है, खाली खत्म करना है. That's not our intention, right?
Yeah.
क्या वो intention है?
Yeah.
You look tense right from today. क्यों ऐसा? Relax. Tension है कोई? तो टेंशन है कोई? हाँ, बिल्कुल नहीं लेना है. 10th स्टैंडर्ड में भी टेंशन नहीं लेना. Studies we should enjoy, नहीं? Then we learn more, then we remember much better. We should enjoy the process of study. We should interact a lot with our teacher, with friends. हाँ? Friends के साथ जब हम बात करें, should we only talk about? What do you talk about when you talk with your friends?
I'm a little bit about like how to do it. I'm a little bit tense with how they do it.
अरे बाप रे, क्यों? Exam
people say that it's difficult to do math and some people say 10 is easy but math is very difficult.
किसने बोला ना? लेके अब कल उसको ले आना, अगले दिन लेके आना उसको. Who says 9th and 10th difficult? Nothing. Don't get carried away by what people say. Believe your teachers, believe your parents. We are there to help you. ऐसा कोई टेंशन नहीं लेना है. You are not into any race कि अगर रेस जीतोगे नहीं तो मम्मी पापा खाना बंद कर देंगे. ऐसा तो कुछ है नहीं ना. Enjoy the process of study. Interact the most with your teachers in school. Teachers के साथ interact करते हो स्कूल में?
Yes.
हमारा चेहरा देख के मुझे लग रहा है बिल्कुल भी नहीं करते. कब से तबीयत खराब थी?
ठीक है अभी.
अच्छा, तबीयत खराब थी इसीलिए टीचर्स के साथ इंटरेक्ट नहीं किया, ये बोलना चाह रहे थे स्कूल में?
Yes.
कब, कितने दिनों की बात है ये?
मुझे एग्जाम है.
अरे अभी की बात मैं नहीं कर रही हूँ. 8th standard, 7th standard, 6th standard, 5th standard, 4th standard, 3rd, 2nd, etc. इंटरेक्ट करते हो टीचर्स के साथ? हाँ, अच्छा लगता है कि नहीं लगता है? We should always interact. Now that see, when I come to the class, I teach my portion, I go away. You sit and write. Will that be Fruitful? Will that be productive? No. But जो मैं पढ़ाऊँ, you ask me 10 questions, we interact, तुम एक दूसरे के साथ वो बातें करो. I'm not saying that when you talk with friends, you should only talk studies. Also studies.
A little bit of studies and
सब कुछ, dresses, shoes, बहुत कुछ, WhatsApp, ये वो, I don't know, so many things तुम लोग के पास आजकल है, and also studies. हाँ कि नहीं?
Yes.
So your stay in this organization, I hope will be very, very productive. After a few more months, I am sure ये जो डर है 8th और 9th, काफी बच्चों को लगता है अगर 9th में आ गया then वो घर पे भी बोला जाता है अभी तू 9th में आ गया तो क्या होगा? 9th में तो आए हो अभी खाली, अभी तो long way to go. अभी से टेंशन लोगे तो जब हमारे स्टेज में पहुंचोगे तो क्या करोगे? घर पे बैठे रहोगे. Study, you should know what to study, you should know how much to study. जरूरी है कि जो 12 घंटा पढ़ेगा वही टॉपर होएगा? जरूरी नहीं है. I will tell you, my roommate in hostel, she studied only for 2-3 hours a day and she became the topper of the university. जरूरी नहीं है. What to study, how much to study, कितना retain करना है, कैसे लिखना है, that is what we will all tell you here. 9th है, 10th है, 11th, 12th, and a long way to go. अभी से टेंशन मत लो. Now you are too small to take any tension. So now let's start with our portion. We are going to start with the chapter cell. Are you both able to see? नहीं तो एक ऐसे बैठ जाओ, देखो how is it comfortable to you? Now we are going to start with, वैसे तो ICSE chapters you have the textbook with you, no? Textbook नहीं मिला है अभी भी, हाँ?
They haven't given the study buddies.
No, school की बात है.
Yeah.
Textbook you have, no?
Yeah.
Textbook. अच्छा. In your school which book they follow? Selena they follow?
Yes.
Selena. उसको पता भी नहीं है कौन सा book. Srijan. This is which school is it? Sadhu Vaswani. 7 day. हाँ 7 day they Srijan. But Srijan also is quite descriptive. But we will follow basically Selena. But Srijan में भी काफी सारे extra topics जो रहेंगे that also we will cover. Nothing to worry. Selena, no?
Yes.
Selena. So if you check, if you haven't got this, even from your textbook you can check the chapters. There are I think almost about 14 chapters, 14-15 chapters है. But how many chapters? 19 अच्छा. हाँ 10 standard के कुछ chapters अभी add हो गया ना तुम्हारे portion में. So there are those chapters, but काफी सारे chapters, छोटे chapters भी हैं, not to worry. The first chapter that we are going to talk about would be cell, the fundamental unit. We are going to talk about cell. That's the first chapter that we are going to discuss. Now, when I talk about this particular concept, cell, क्या है आंसर?
It is found in every living organism.
Every living organism.
Basically, each and every living organism is made up of cell. It is the basic unit.
Example?
Hand cells.
Hand cells. Okay, chalo, hand cells. Example?
Plant cells.
Huh?
Plant cells.
Plant cells. Correct.
Nerve cells,
Nerve cells.
Muscle cells.
Muscle cells. Correct.
brain cells.
What is a cell? Where is it found? What are its categories? What about its shape, size, etc.? What is known as cell theory? All these concepts we will study in this chapter. So first is, when we talk about, if you can see here, we are talking about an organism. That's a single cell, but it's an organism in total. Okay. So first I said, where is the cell found? Yes, in all living organisms. In all living organisms. And if I have to give examples of all living organisms, I would say plant is a living organism. Birds, fishes,
Amphibians.
human, amphibians,
Insect.
insects, amoeba, living organisms. Then what do we understand by the word living organism? An assemblage of cells that has the capacity to grow is a living organism. An assemblage of cells which can grow, which can divide. No? So whenever we are talking about what is a cell, where is it found? So first of all, where is a cell found? Now, what is a cell? Define a cell. What is the definition? Define a cell. What is the definition?
It is the basic functional and structural unit of life.
Correct. It is the structural and functional unit of life. So here, when I talk about the answer for this question, I would always say that two key terms that we always write is, it is the structural and functional unit. It is the structural and functional unit of all living organisms. What do you understand by this word structural?
It is the basic, it provides shape to our body.
Correct? Complexity, shape, complexity. For example, I talk about the lungs in our body. I talk about the heart in our body. I talk about the flower in a plant. I talk about the fruit in a plant. I talk about the stem in a plant. I talk about the stomach in our body. Structural. अब इससे क्या समझ में आ रहा है? Cell is a structural unit. मतलब the moment I talk about the word lungs, I understand that the cells are all of the same type. The moment I talk about the heart, I understand the cells are all of the same type and they give a basic form and structure to the organ. Lungs and heart, these are the organs of our body, no?
Yes.
Organs of our body. Talk about the flower, this is an organ of a plant. The moment I talk about the flower, yes, it is made up of not only one but few types of cells. A flower may be made up of some 2-3 different types of cells or even more. A flower may be made up of something around 4-5 types of cells. But these 4-5 types of cells are giving a proper form, a proper shape, structural unit. Why are cells known as the structural unit? Because cells generally give the form or the structure to a particular organ. Again, stem, when I talk about the stem, again the stem is not only made up of one type of cell, but the stem is made up of around 4-5 different types of cells. But all these cells come together in a definite arrangement, giving a proper shape, structure. Same with the concept of stomach. Again, when I talk about the stomach is not only made up of one type of cell, it is made up of some 4-5 different types of cells. Understood? So, yes, now when I talk about the structure, now I would say that, okay, now that I said that the lungs made up of some, now lungs I'm saying that yes, it is made up of only one type of cells. And all of them has got a specific function known as gaseous exchange. Respiration, a part of respiration. Heart, all of them are involved in the process of pumping of blood. The heart is also made up of only one type of cell, a specific type of a muscle cell. Flower, as I said, made up of some different types of cells. But yes, it can perform a specific function of the flower, and that is the reproduction. Most of them are involved in the process of reproduction, fertilization. Fruit. Fruit is generally performed when I talk about the fruit is helping in one particular function, that is the protection of the seed. Fruit is protecting the seed. Same like that. When I talk about stem, it performs a particular function. What is the function? Transportation of water, minerals. No?
All the components.
All the components. And also protection. Stem is the hard, no stable part of the plant. Stomach function is
Digestion.
digestion.
Digestion of food.
Digestion of food. Storage of food for short period of time. So now again I am saying that whenever I talk about the concept of what is a cell, structural functional unit. Why do we say so? Because the cells, either they are made up of, or the cells, either they come in one type or two or more types. They generally give a form. They generally form a particular structural unit. And whenever we are talking about the functional unit, what do we understand by that? Why do we say cells are functional unit? Because every type of cell is designed with a particular function. The cells of the lungs only meant they are designed in a special way so that they can bring about the gaseous exchange. Can these cells ever help in transportation of fluids, blood? No. The transportation of blood, the heart cells have to do. The cells of the heart are designed in such a way that they can very well bring about the exit and input of the blood from time to time within the different chambers of the heart. But can the heart cells bring about the process of oxygen, carbon dioxide in and out? That part they cannot do. Every type of a cell is designed with a specific function. When I talk about the muscle cells, they are designed with a specific function of contraction, relaxation. Yes. Muscle cells undergo the process of contraction, relaxation. But can they bring about the process of oxygen, carbon dioxide exchange? No, they cannot. So every cell has got a definite structure to suit a function. See, something like, can we fly?
No.
Why not? Huh? We don't have wings. चलो अगर हम artificial wings लगा भी लेंगे तो can we fly?
We are
No.
structured like that.
We are not structured like that. We are not structured. Our bones are so heavy. हम flight लेने की कोशिश भी करेंगे तो गिर जाएंगे.
And bones have their hollow and
Hollow,
streamlined
hollow.
structure.
So
that makes
हर एक
it hard.
structure function को suit करने के लिए बनाया जाता है ना? So same way हर एक कोई भी cell की बात करो, कोई भी structural tissue organ की बात करो, whenever we are talking about the types of the cells in the kidneys are structured in such a way that they can bring about the filtration of blood. वो तो lung cells नहीं कर सकता. Cells of the lungs are designed for a particular function. Cells of the heart are designed for a particular function. Cells of the muscles are designed for a particular function. Cells of the kidneys are designed for a particular function. Same way in the plants also. The cells of the flower, cells of the fruit, etc., etc. So now we talk about the structural and the functional unit. Cell. What is a cell? Define a cell. Cells are known as the structural and the functional unit of living organisms. Justify the statement, explain the statement. Take out your notebook, let us start with this concept. Now this being the first class, let me tell you something. You are all supposed to bring your textbooks to the class. Textbook के जो exercises रहेगा that we are going to solve in the class.
Which textbook? The school का
your school textbook along with the UT volume and a notebook. And the notebook should not be an encyclopedia. बायोलॉजी का अलग, केमिस्ट्री का अलग, फिजिक्स का अलग, मैथ्स का अलग. 2 पेज बायोलॉजी, 3rd पेज में केमिस्ट्री, 4th पेज में मैथ्स, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. आया समझ में? What's your name?
विशिष्ट.
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 Yes.
मीनिंग क्या है?
Importance and
Very good. Now, all of you heard what I said? Notebook हमेशा लाना है क्लास में. Every day I will give you written work. Every day. All of you stay nearby, no? All of you stay Sanpada, no? Where do you stay? Junior. Notebook नहीं रहेगा, you will go home and get it. सच में सोच रहा है. नोटबुक, टेक्स्ट बुक, वॉल्यूम, ये 3 चीज हमेशा बैग में लाना है. ठीक है? When the school will start, maybe you have to hurry after coming from school and then, but ये याद रखना है, your textbook you should bring only, क्योंकि काफी बार I will ask you to read from the textbook certain important paragraphs, exercises करेंगे हम क्लास में. So at that time don't try sharing book and then writing in the note. तभी के तभी there and there you finish in the textbook. Especially you both, you are from 7th day. Your textbook you positively should bring, because in your book there are lengthy exercises. ठीक है? And volume भी लाना है. Additional exercises जो है that also we will do. Question answers, some I'll ask you to do, some I'll give you notes. So notebook लाना. So ऐसे कोई specific days नहीं है कि आज ये लेंगे कल वो लेंगे. At the most you will have 2 subjects. Your bag is never going to be very heavy with those 3 books. तीनों book लाना है. Now, what I said, define a cell. देखो, define a cell. Define a cell. Explain. Define a cell. Full stop. Explain. Explain the statement. Same question. Explain the statement. Okay. Now, define a cell. You know the definition. देखो. Define a cell. You know the definition. देखो. Cells are the structural and functional unit of living organisms. Cells are the structural and functional unit of living organisms. Cells are the structural and functional units of living organisms. Full stop. Explain the statement. मतलब ये जो statement तुमने लिखा है, that you have to explain. क्या लिखेंगे? Cells are known as structural unit because they give
a proper definite shape.
They give a proper shape, structure and form.
Function.
हाँ, नहीं, function को next part में लिखेंगे about the function. Now you don't write anything about the function. लिखो. Full stop. Each type of cell gives a definite shape. Each type of cell gives a definite shape, form, definite shape, form, and structure, shape, form, form, gives a definite shape, form, and structure an organ, to an organ or organism, to an organ or organism. Full stop. Full stop. Cells are known as the functional unit because cells are known as the functional unit because every type of cells are known as the functional unit because every type of cell are designed to suit every type of cell are designed to suit a specific function. Every type of cell are designed to suit a specific function. Okay. For example, एक example लिखेंगे. You can write any other example of your choice. I'll give you only one example. For example, cells of the lungs. For example, cells of the lungs are balloon shaped with a thin membrane. Balloon shaped with a thin membrane to bring about exchange of gases. To bring about exchange of gases.
Are balloon shaped?
Balloon shaped with a thin membrane. To bring about exchange of gases. To bring about exchange of gases. Okay? We have discussed quite a lot of examples. Any other example you can write. Okay? Once you understand what you are writing.
To bring about?
To bring about exchange of gases. Exchange of gases. Gases here we are referring to what? Carbon dioxide or oxygen. So, काफी सारे examples we discussed. Now, next is we come across another concept of complexity. Complexity of cell. What are we talking about? Complexity of cell. Complexity of cell means whether we are talking about a cell with well-developed components. Complexity of a cell. Now, whenever we talk about this concept of complexity of a cell, we would basically understand two types of cells. One is prokaryotic, one is eukaryotic. Do you still remember what is the difference between these two? What is the difference?
Prokaryotic cells are the ones which do not contain a cell nuclear membrane, and eukaryotic cells are those which
nuclear membrane
and eukaryotic cells are those which do not contain a nuclear, contain a nuclear membrane.
Ma'am, prokaryotic cells, they basically don't have a well-defined nucleus. Means they are primitive, and the eukaryotic we have a well-defined.
ये prokaryotic cell का nuclear membrane नहीं होता, correct है? They don't have a well-defined nucleus, ये भी correct है. And ये सारे चीज इसमें होता है. Something like, if I have to draw a prokaryotic cell, how will I draw? एक prokaryotic cell ऐसा होगा. Components of the cell are all spread out in the cell, And if I have to talk about eukaryotic cell, they will have a central region. जहाँ पे I may say that this particular cell has a specific type of a membrane. It has got the cytoplasm, and the nuclear region is not well formed. Nuclear material है, but the nuclear material or the nuclear region is not well formed. ये वाले nuclear regions को हम बोलेंगे nucleoid. Whereas ये वाले जो cells है eukaryotic, they will have a definite membrane. They will have the well-planned cytoplasm. I'm not talking about the parts of the cell right now. Only the components, major. And ऐसे वाले region को हम बोलेंगे क्या? Nucleus. जहाँ पे एक membrane होता है. And inside the membrane some essential thread-like structures.
Chromatin fibers. And a nucleus. Nucleus.
हाँ, correct.
Nucleus.
So ये जो chromatin fibers है, thread-like structures है, these are actually very essential to give commands to the other parts of the cell. This will direct the other parts of the cell. कब क्या function करना है, कितना proteins बनाना है, क्या बनाना है, etc. So now that we are talking about prokaryotic, so basic definition क्या है? What is the major difference to write and understand? A prokaryotic cell is a primitive cell. Prokaryotic. Karyotic basically comes from the word karyon. Karyotic comes from the word karyon, which means nucleus. Nucleus, well planned, eukaryon. Nucleus, not well organized, prokaryon. And pro and u का क्या मतलब है? Pro माने primitive. U means advanced. U means advanced. Greek terms. When we are talking about reference to those Latin Greek terms, we understand pro always refers to any type of a molecule or an organism which is not well developed. तो यहाँ पे carrion के साथ pro prefix लगाया गया है so that you understand that the nuclear region is not well formed. तो कौन सा nuclear region को हम well formed बोलते हैं in the concept of biology? Eukaryotic, जिसके पास एक well developed membrane हो, nuclear membrane हो. And there is a अभी अगर मैं इसके पहले एक और क्वेश्चन तुमको पूछती कि what are the two main components of a cell? What are the two main components of a cell?
Nucleus and cytoplasm.
Correct. Nucleus and cytoplasm. तो क्या ये prokaryotic cell में nucleus and cytoplasm है? है?
Yes.
In a prokaryotic cell में कहाँ है nucleus? Cytoplasm and nucleus two different compartments है? नहीं है. Understanding what I'm telling you? In a prokaryotic cell, मैंने क्या draw किया? If I'm talking about a bacteria, I think I have the picture of a bacteria here. I'll show you. I'll tell you what I have. Look at the structure of a bacteria. ये हो गया cytoplasm, these are the chromatin cells. Nucleus कहाँ है? The nuclear components are all spread out in the cell. है ना? But if I talk about the nuclear region is well defined.
Yes.
The nuclear region is well defined. Hereditary material is here. So if I talk about a prokaryotic cell, what is the meaning? The nuclear region is not defined. The nuclear material is all spread out in the cytoplasm. And if The hereditary material is confined to one particular region and bounded by a wall. That wall we call it as the nuclear envelope or the nuclear membrane जिसको हम बोलते हैं. So अगर ये वाले structures है, then this is a eukaryotic cell. This is a eukaryotic cell. है ना? तो ये पहले वाला जो मैंने दिखाया था, prokaryotic cell. It's a prokaryotic cell. This is a prokaryotic cell. This is a prokaryotic cell. आया ना समझ में? So what is the difference between a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell? What are you supposed to write? Prokaryotic cells do not have a well-defined nucleus. What is the second difference? The nuclear material is scattered in the cytoplasm, spread out in the cytoplasm. Eukaryotic,
They have a
well-defined nucleus. And the nuclear material is surrounded by a nuclear membrane. चलो लिखेंगे. Make a column. One side prokaryotic, another side eukaryotic, and 2 points लिखेंगे with example. You're wearing mask to your school? Huh? Wearing mask to your school? स्कूल में मास्क पहन के जाते हो?
Online.
अभी भी ऑनलाइन चल रहा है?
Online and offline both.
तो you are not going to school? ऑनलाइन चल रहा है अभी? अच्छा तुम लोग का एग्जाम बाकी है अभी ना?
Yes.
अच्छा. Make a column and we'll write down differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Prokaryotic. For the first column, prokaryotic, right? Under prokaryotic, the first point, right? Under prokaryotic, now prokaryotic organisms नहीं होता है. Remember, it is prokaryotic cell, right? Cell. Under prokaryotic, cells that do not contain cells that do not contain a well-developed nucleus. Cells that do not contain a well-developed nucleus. Eukaryotic cells that contain a developed nucleus. Second point, prokaryotic. Prokaryotic, second point. The nuclear material is scattered. Nuclear material is scattered or spread out also, right? Is scattered or spread out in the cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm. Eukaryotic. Nuclear material is surrounded by a well-defined nuclear membrane. nuclear material is surrounded by a well-defined nuclear membrane. Example, under prokaryotic, bacterial cell. Bacteria, that's a prokaryotic, bacterial cell. Eukaryotic cell, plant and animal cells. Eukaryotic, plant and animal cells. Eukaryotic, plant and animal cells. Okay? So this is prokaryotic. Prokaryotic bacteria, eukaryotic plant and animal cells. These are all eukaryotic cells. Okay. Now, what did we learn just now? We had learned about the complexity of cells. Now let us talk about the complexity of organisms. Now let us talk about the complexity of organisms. Let me take it here. Complexity of organisms. Now, of course, we are talking with reference to cells. Complexity of organisms. What does that mean? Based on the number of cells an organism is made up of, we can talk about complexity of an organism. For example, I showed you this figure. I showed you this figure, which is of a single cell. This is a single cell of amoeba. Let us see some more single cells. Okay. These are also single cells of red blood cells. What is the difference between these RBCs, which are single cells, and amoeba? I showed you a single cell. Can you tell me? Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm looking for still something else.
Now, maybe something related to nucleus.
Okay. Nucleus, go ahead. What I'm looking for, relevant to the topic that we are going to see is, yes, this is a single cell, this is also a single cell. And this is also a single cell. Difference is, when I talk about a nerve cell and the RBC, these are not organisms. But when I talk about amoeba, this itself is an organism also. This itself is an organism also. Complexity of the cell. Apart from that, when I talk about a plant, when I talk about a human, when I talk about the parrot, when I talk about the fishes, when I talk about the whale, they are even more complex than the amoeba. So what is the difference between amoeba, which is an organism, and the earthworm, which is also an organism, and the snail, which is also an organism, and the parrot, which is also an organism, and the turtle, which is also an organism, and the human, which is also an organism? What is the difference? Complexity. Amoeba, single cells, keep it aside. But when I talk about the earthworm, multicellular, no?
Yes,
Many cells. But the earthworm is simpler than the parrot. The parrot is simpler than human. So I am talking about steps of complexity. Anyhow, if I have to understand the two major categories, then what is it? Two major categories are unicellular
Multicellular.
and multicellular. Okay? Unicellular, multicellular. अभी pressure is more on organisms which are multicellular. क्यों?
Because they have many cells within them and other
अच्छा अच्छा, I'm sorry. I said pressure is more on organisms which are unicellular.
Because they have only one cell to do the function.
Correct. How many members in your house?
4.
4. Parents and brother, sister? Sister. What is your contribution in the family? Nothing. Do you do any household work to help your family? Are you shameless? You are saying no also? हाँ? इतना honesty भी अच्छा नहीं है. एक दो चीज तो ऐसे भी बोल सकते थे, करो नहीं करो, हाँ? कुछ ज़्यादा ही honest है ना? What is your contribution in the family? I am asking specifically the boys. What is your contribution? Never mind, my girl also does not do it. What is your contribution in the family? Do you help your father, help your mother?
Yes, ma'am.
You do? Very good boy. Now, what does your mother do? She takes care of the house. She gives you proper fresh food every day. She cleans the house, keeps everything in a proper place. Your father goes out for work. He gives you a comfortable life. Siblings है? Sister, brother?
Yes, ma'am.
क्या yes ma'am है कि नहीं?
Yes, ma'am.
क्या है? Sister है कि brother है? अरे वो
Cousins,
sister
not
है.
cousins, sir.
Cousins. Now, when I am talking about एक family है, family में 4 member है, 5 member है, 6 member है. So what is the benefit? The work gets divided. Work gets divided. आज से घर पे जाके मम्मी को पूछो should I help you? पापा को पूछो daddy how can I help you? अभी तुमने बोला कुछ नहीं करता. अच्छा, घर का काम नहीं करता. करता. अच्छा, very good. So if in that house there is only one member earning money, cooking food, keeping the house clean, everything that one person has to do.
Yes.
But if there is a house of 4 members, one person can go and earn money, the other person can cook food, clean the house, the children can at least do little. So the house will be a happy place to live in where nobody is having so much of pressure of work. But एक ही अगर individual को सब कुछ maintain करना होगा तो everything that person has to do. The same is happening with unicellular organisms. Never mind, they are simple, but then the process of respiration, excretion, transportation, diffusion, nutrition, everything that single cell has to do. But when we talk about multicellular organism, what's happening?
There are various cells.
In the cytoplasm, there are many parts. है ना, जैसे हम members होते हैं घर के. So in the cytoplasm, there are many parts, and हर एक part does its job. I'll show you the picture of a cell. When we are talking about a cell which is already organized, or say suppose I talk about different types of cells are present in our body. We are multicellular organisms. So इतने सारे types of cells are present in our body. Every type of cell performing some or the other function. The nerve cells for coordination, nerve impulse, conduction, muscle cells, contraction, relaxation, movement, heart cells, pumping of the blood, bone cells, framework, shape also correct. So now what's happening? Every type of cell is doing some or the other function. But अगर हम unicellular होते तो वही cell अंदर सारे थोड़े बहुत components उसी को सब चीज manage करना होता. Multicellular organisms have division of labor. Multicellular organisms have division of labor. Labor here means work. Have division of labor. Justify. explain. क्या लिखना है? Multicellular organisms have division of labor, meaning this group of organisms which have different type of cells. Each type of cells can perform a specific set of a function. But unicellular organism, the same cell has to perform all the basic functions. ठीक है ना? पहले हम ये difference लिखेंगे. Will you be able to write?
Yes.
Yes. Confident you will be able to write? I'll tell you what to write. You try writing it on your own. Learn how to write answers on your own. Unicellular, multicellular. पहले तो column बनाओ. पहले column बनाओ. Presentation should be very neat. Handwriting should be legible. Unicellular, multicellular. Unicellular, multicellular. Now these are organisms. Unicellular, multicellular cell नहीं होता है. Unicellular, multicellular organisms and prokaryotic, eukaryotic cells. ठीक है? Prokaryotic, eukaryotic cells and unicellular, multicellular organisms. अभी unicellular organism, what will you write? Organisms made up of only one type of cell. Organisms made up of only one type of cell. Next, multicellular, what will you write?
Organisms made up of more than one type of cell.
Organisms made up of more than one type of cell. Organisms made up of more than one type of cell. Organisms made up of only one type of cell. Next is for unicellular. Next point. Next point. All basic functions are performed. All basic functions are performed. All basic functions are performed by. All basic functions are performed by the same cell. All basic functions are performed by the same cell. Multicellular. For multicellular, you write different set of cells. Different set of cells perform different functions. That is, different set of cells perform different functions. That is, they have division of labor. That is, they have division of labor. That is, they have division of labor. अभी examples खुद लिखोगे. I will not give you. Write 2 examples in each category. Write 2 examples in each category. लिखो. Unicellular के 2 examples. Multicellular के 2 examples.
Different table or
In the difference table only you will write, but for writing down examples you will not get any mark. For example, in your question paper it is asked, write 2 differences. तो एक point of difference लिख के एक example लिखोगे तो मिलेगा 2 mark? नहीं. 2 difference मतलब 2 difference लिखना है, जैसे मैंने अभी दिया है. Examples are just like accessories to the answer. अगर पूछा है इन द क्वेश्चन राइट विद एग्जांपल्स, तब एग्जांपल्स के लिए मार्क रहेगा, अदरवाइज नहीं रहेगा. बट एग्जांपल्स यू शुड नो बिकॉज एग्जांपल्स आर आल्सो आस्क्ड. नाउ एग्जांपल्स लिखो. यूनिसेलुलर के 2 एग्जांपल्स लिख सकोगे. व्हाट एग्जांपल्स यू हैव रिटन अमीबा?
Paramecium.
Paramecium, Euglena, Euglena, करेक्ट. एग्जाम्पल अमीबा तो है ही, यूग्लेना भी लिख सकते हो, पैरामीशियम भी लिख सकते हो.
Spirogyra.
स्पाइरोगायरा इज मल्टीसेलुलर. स्पाइरोगायरा मल्टीसेलुलर है. मल्टीसेलुलर के तो बहुत एग्जांपल्स है. लिखो 2
Animals, humans.
हाँ, any 2 एग्जांपल्स लिखो. Now this question will remain as homework for you. Take down the statement. Multicellular organisms have division of labor. Multicellular organisms have division of labor. Okay? Explain. How much should you write? Your answer should be over in 5 to 6 sentences. Not more than that. Your answer should get over in 5 to 6 sentences. Okay? Not more than that. I want you all to write down this answer. Okay? And next class I will ask you what you have written. Okay? All should complete homework. Homework means the next class when I ask you, you should not give me any excuse that I forgot. I wrote but I forgot the notebook. I wrote but I forgot the आजकल तो और भी नए excuses है. I wrote but I forgot it in the car. और भी बहुत excuse है. कोई excuse नहीं चाहिए. एक ही question I have given. I did not give you 10 questions to do. Eight that you should try to write on your own. Gradually we will try solving many questions. The more you read, revise, question solve करोगे, concepts will be even clear. Okay? See you in the next lecture again.
And it is 4.5 to 6 centimeters.